everyone, welcome to the next episode of Advocacy Works. I'm Siobhan Flynn and I'm here today with my co-host Philip.
Hello.
And my other co-host Claire.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. And you, Philip?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Yes, so will we get straight into this episode?
Might as well.
We might as well, exactly. So today we're going to have a little chat about the Assisted Decision Making Act.
Yep.
Which is something that's really important to not only people with a disability or intellectual disability,
No.
it's everybody in our country, isn't it?
It is.
And it's really a law that was only signed in when was it again, Philip?
April 2023.
2023. So it's not that long ago actually this new law was in place, has now come into place, isn't it?
It's only last year.
It's only last year, yeah.
Yeah.
So before that, there was another law.
Yeah.
It was one that was put together, or in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Which was just about before you were born, I think, Philip.
Way before I was born.
It was way before you were born, and just you're a little bit younger than us,
I
aren't
am,
you?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's a long, long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was, it was a law that didn't really give people with disabilities any rights at all.
No.
So it didn't.
No.
Didn't.
And they speak about in that law about wards of court,
Yeah.
where people had no decisions
No.
over what they did in their lives.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we now have a law in place in our country that allows people
To make their own choices.
their own decisions. Like we
What
make
is it?
decisions all the time
Oh,
in
yeah,
our
I know
lives,
that.
don't we?
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
From what time you get up out of the bed, whether
Yeah.
whether you want a cup of tea or coffee, or
Yeah.
all the different decisions we make throughout the day that we don't even think about.
No.
Yep.
But there are sometimes decisions that we have to make that are big decisions, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like maybe, what kind of big decisions, Philip, would you think that we might need a little bit of support with?
Moving house.
Buying a house or moving house?
Moving house, yeah.
Yeah, very good. And you, Claire?
We'll try and get married in a couple of years, and maybe next year, maybe the year after. I don't know yet. Not for a while yet, anyway. And I'm going to need a lot of support.
You
to
will.
actually help. Yeah.
Yeah, so and there's there's lots of the service that the Brothers of Charity was, we have lots of staff that work, and we'll support you about making decisions, and that's important. But sometimes they're big decisions
There is, yeah.
that we might
Yeah.
need extra help on.
Yep.
So thankfully this new law will support not only yourselves but everybody, I suppose. It actually is a law that is for everybody in our country. It's not just for people who have disabilities. So the new law says that we must presume a person can make a decision. The old law would say that a person with a disability couldn't make that decision.
Couldn't.
Regardless of whether they could or not, it was the law said that they couldn't make that decision because they had a disability, not because they couldn't make the decision. So the new law would say that everybody can make a decision. And do we agree with that?
True,
Yes.
Is that important?
Yes.
But this is, if you need a bit of help making a decision, so
Sure, ask.
moving house, Philip, that's
Yeah.
not as easy as just moving house, is
No.
it? Do you think you need a bit of support around that sometimes?
You would, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to decide where you'd like to live,
Yep.
where you can afford, if you can afford it.
Yeah.
We'd all like to live on a lovely sea view, and
Yeah.
but unfortunately, not everybody can do that.
Nope.
So it's all those kind of things. But I say the new law would say that it's important that you have all the information so that you can make that decision. Okay, so these are the houses that are available. This is how much they cost. Okay, where are they
Yeah.
located? Would I like to live there? So there's all this support that you can get to help you make these decisions.
True, yeah.
Other
Yeah.
things around it are, I think the important thing about this law would say that it's okay for people to make what they call unwise decisions.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So
It is.
do you think people make unwise decisions, Philip?
They do.
Sometimes.
You do, yeah.
Sure, yeah. And is that okay to do that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, everybody makes decisions that some other people mightn't agree with.
True, yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Like some people might smoke. They might like to smoke their cigarettes. And then some other people mightn't like cigarettes and they mightn't like that decision.
Yep.
Or some people might like
I drink.
spend, I'd like to have a pint. Yes, exactly, Claire. And then some people might think that's the wrong decision.
Oh, sure. Each their own.
Each to their own, exactly. Do you know, so it is really about, we can make wise decisions. If I won the lotto, maybe I would buy a lovely big fancy car. I don't know. And some people might think, oh, that's a bit silly. But, you know, it's a decision I can make, isn't it?
It is.
So it's important. So this law would say that it's okay that we can make unwise decisions, you know, as long as you've gotten all the information and you know what it means.
True.
And then, okay, I'm still happy to go with this decision. I'm going to blow that 10 grand on a fabulous holiday.
Yeah.
As opposed to...
I'd rather get married.
Well, there you go, Claire. You'd rather get married. So that's really good. But some people might say, be damned, we'll get married the year after. We'll go off and I'll go off on my holiday somewhere fabulous. Okay. But it's also, this law will also say, if you have a big decision in your life and you feel that you really would like support, that, you know, in help to make this decision, this law says that you can get that that help, and this will help people then who might communicate differently then as well.
True,
they might have their, you know, they may not, you know, talking mightn't be the way that they communicate. They may communicate a little bit differently. Sign language, or they might use iPads or
they use eye gaze,
all the different technology that's out there. So they might need a different level of support. Okay, so that's what this law would say, and I suppose it's great that we have moved on, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you know that people should be seen as the valued citizens, equal in our country, exactly, Claire, and the same as everybody else, that we have, you know, and, you know, I think it's important that we know that everybody at some stage during their life needs a help to make decisions.
Yeah.
Do you think?
You do.
Yeah, we do.
Do you?
Yeah, do you know? So it's not that it's just you because you're Claire or you because you're Philip. It's everybody makes support, needs some form of support around making decisions. So Philip, you recently did a course on the Assisted Decision Making Act, I believe. You did. And how did you find that? That was an online course, was it?
It was.
And who did you do that with?
University of Galway.
The University of Galway, yes.
But we're home country.
Oh, you're home. Yeah, that's where you're from originally. Yeah, so I remember that. And what kind of things did you learn from that course?
We learned that everybody should be treated equally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we need support for some decisions making, and we make decisions ourselves if we need to.
Yeah, exactly. So you might need support for some things, but then other things that you're not going to make you're going to make those decisions yourself. You don't need that. You can make that decision yourself. Do you know what? Yeah. So that's really important. So what else did you? So who is this course specifically for?
Everybody really.
But was it for? It was for anybody, but was mainly aimed for people with an intellectual disability. That right? So the information that you got was a little bit more accessible, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. So because it's a little bit more easier to read. So because it's kind of difficult to understand the law sometimes, isn't it? For everybody.
If I felt like being back at school.
You felt like being back at school, did you?
Yeah, because we didn't want to talk.
Oh, you had to put your hand up.
And then be back in school again with the teacher.
Yeah, do you know, and it's difficult when you're online then as well, isn't it? So, but yeah, so.
Back at school again.
Yeah, but you enjoyed the course, did you? You loved it, did you? Would you recommend it for other people?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good to get all this information, isn't it? And was there little examples of any kind of examples from the course of maybe decisions that people might need support with?
There's a few stories.
A few stories.
On there.
And what can you tell us the stories without revealing, say, a person's name?
A woman's mother had died,
mm-hmm.
and she left some money
mm-hmm.
to the daughter in her will.
Very good.
The woman wanted to go and spend her money on a holiday
mm-hmm.
and new clothes.
Lovely.
But the brother wanted to, no, we be receiving the money, we be receiving the money and
Because he thought she should save her money. She
Yeah.
wanted to go on a holiday
Yeah,
and
buy
buy
new
loads of
clothes
clothes,
and-
lovely as you do.
yeah. But no, he wanted to no, go down, save your money. She wanted to go, no, I want to go on a holiday. And
Yeah. So did she get the support then? What kind of support did she get?
we were asked if she came to you, but no, you did this course.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to her?
Yes. So what advice would you give to her then?
Either get a decision maker involved. Somebody she can trust be her. Decision making coordinator.
Yeah. So there's different types of support
Coordinators.
under the Assisted Decision Making Act, isn't that correct?
There
And
was.
that's what you're talking about. There's a decision support assistant, a co-decision maker, or a decision making representative. So there are 3 different types of supporters that you can get if you want to use, if you need a help and that you don't feel you can ask. There are different types of support that people can get. So that was the advice you would give on that scenario, that that the lady would get a decision support assistant or a co-decision maker. And a decision support assistant doesn't make the decision for the person.
They're there for support to help her with whatever decision she wants to make.
Yes, so they're just going to give her the information. They'll support her if she needs to go to get information from somewhere. But ultimately the decision is hers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then a co-decision maker would be somebody
who it was her, and it could be something from residential or from her day service, could be.
Yeah. So how is the decision made? Does she do it on her own or
jointly?
They do it jointly, together then. They would do it together then. And then the final one then is a decision-making representative. So they would be somebody who would make a decision...
But on behalf of...
Yeah, on behalf of somebody
else.
Yeah, so that's important. So they're the supports that are there within this, under this new law, that to help people, support people. So Claire, do you think it's important that we have this in place in our country? Why do you think that it's important?
To give people a choice.
People give them a chance to just live their lives with support, is it? Yeah. So that it's important that people have this opportunity. It's not that people are not being supported to make decisions already, as we've said already, but it's that actually this is also something that they can make decisions, bigger decisions.
Yeah.
And we all, as I said, we all need that support sometimes.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up. We'll finish up now in the next few minutes on this, but I just want to cover what there is a service as part of this Act, Philip, and Claire, you might have heard of this as well. There's the Decision Support Service.
I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't.
Okay, so they would be part of... So when this law was coming into place, the government had to kind of decide, okay, how can we support this? And how can people actually get information on the Assisted Decision Making Act? And so they set up what's known as the Decision Support Service. Okay, and it's really just their role is to manage lots of things under the Act. Okay, and it's just keeping record of who uses the support. It's also about, they have come out to lots of services. They've met with families. They've done interviews on the radio. They're spreading the information around the new law and what their service does, so that if people decide, okay, I think I need somebody to support me to make this big decision, and I need somebody who's a co-decision maker, then you have to apply to the Decision Support Service, and they will give you advice on of who that person could be. Or if you need to go to court, then they can support you on that. They give you advice on that, okay? So I think the important thing we can do on this is, I suppose the new law does have new ways to support you to make the decisions.
It does.
But it also is that the new law does not mean that you have to use one of the new ways to keep making your own decisions. So that's important. So we have this new law, it's great, and we can make...
It is,
and some people may never use it.
That's the thing.
but some people may use it.
Yeah.
And that's just for people to know that it's available. And it does come back, there's other parts of it where people can make decisions around medical advice if they get older, or they can't make decisions about things like that. So that's in place as well, that you can make, that you might be able to have it in place. You can plan a bit better for when we're all getting older now. So it's good to plan for when we're a little bit older, that okay, if I'm not going to be able to make a decision on my health, then maybe there might be somebody else who can support me to do that. Or my money, and I'll probably never have money, but that some people will have money. So it's important that you have all this support to know what to do with your money. And I think it's also important that we can just take the risks, and do all the things that some people don't agree with. But that's okay too, isn't it?
It is.
So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. It's just a brief overview really around the Assisted Decision Making Act, and we will recommend that if people are interested, that they would maybe talk to their families, or if they're in services, to talk to their staff and families. Is that right, Philip? Or I'm sure they could contact yourself in the southeast. Consider you have the course done, and it seems to be something very positive. Or anybody then that just have a discussion really about the assisted decision making. It's very important law in our country, isn't it? It is. Okay, so we'll say goodbye now. So thank you for me.
Goodbye for me.
Thank you.